Good morning, dear students of class 6. I welcome you all to this new class of English where we will be continuing with the chapter The Banyan Tree. Now, children, we have completed part 1 with the explanation wherein we started part 2 as well. And the last paragraph which we did from part 2 was in the spring season, the banyan tree used to be in full bloom, right? So now let us pick the next paragraph and let us see what this paragraph has to tell. Halfway up the tree, I had built a crude platform where I would spend the afternoons when it was not too hot. I could read the propping myself up against the tree with cushion from the living room, Treasure Island, and different books were told in this paragraph, which I have explained previously. So, what did the author do? He made a wooden platform like a table where he could enjoy his reading, and he has named 2 3 books, children, which he wanted to read, like a tree library. He had built a tree library, and then he brought a cushion from the drawing room. Now, the next paragraph was telling us that in the part 1, the next paragraph was telling us that it was too hot and nobody was there, and the season changed. Now, let us begin with part 2, where the first paragraph says, the warm breezes approaching summer and sent everyone, including the gardener, into the house. I was feeling drowsy myself, wondering if I should go to the pond and have a swim with Ramu and the buffaloes, where he saw black cobra and mongoose, isn't it? So I discussed this also, children, that when it was drowsy afternoon, drowsy means lazy, and when the warm wind started blowing, everybody was inside the house. Then he thought to go for swimming like we all do. Then for the first time he noticed a cobra and a mongoose, children. Then, children, we saw that under that banyan tree, he saw one day cobra and mongoose coming against each other, where he told that both of them were equally, strong and competent. He told that it was a battle between two champs. So I left the class at this point. I will begin with the reading of the paragraph from this paragraph. Hissing defiance, his forked tongue darting in and out, the cobra raised 3 of his 6 feet off the ground and spread his broad, spectacled hood. The mongoose pushed his tail, the long hair on his spine stood up. We all know hissing sound is always produced by snakes, and he forked tongue. The snakes, keep on forking their tongues. So, this is the explanation that moving his tongue quickly in and out. When snakes move their tongue in and out, so that is known as forking tongue. And then, children, the cobra raised, they bend their forehead, they bend their upper part. And then the mongoose also showed his, activeness. He wanted to fight by brushing his tail. So the next paragraph says, though the combatants were unaware of my presence in the tree, they were soon made aware of the arrival of other 2 spectators. One was a myna and other was a jungly crow. Now these 2 competitors, who were the cobra and mongoose, were not knowing that the author was also watching them from the banyan tree. But they had 2 spectators. One was myna and the other was a jungly crow. They had seen these preparations for battle and had settled on the cactus to watch the outcome. So these 2 spectators settled down over the cactus. Excuse me, children. And these 2 spectators were ready to see the battle. Right? Had they been content only to watch, all would have been well with both of them. So this line means that, instead he fixed his, but they were not satisfied with just watching, rather they participated in the fight. These spectators, myna and the jungly crow, were not just willing to watch, they wanted to participate. Now the next paragraph. The cobra stood on the defensive swaying slowly from side to side, trying to mesmerize the mongoose into making a false move. But the mongoose knew the power of his opponents, glassy, unwinking eyes, and refused to meet them. Instead, he fixed his gaze at a point just below the cobra's hood and opened the attack. Now, this paragraph means that the cobra was trying to spellbind the mongoose. Snakes always try to create that spell on their prey. So he was trying to spellbind the mongoose, but mongoose was very active and he was knowing the power of cobra. So he fixed his focus on just attacking the cobra and he began the attack and the fight. Next paragraph. Moving forward quickly until he was just within the cobra's reach, the mongoose made a pretended move to one side. Immediately, the cobra struck. His great hood came down so swiftly that I thought nothing could save the mongoose. But the little fellow jumped nearly to one side and darted in as swiftly as the cobra, biting the snake on the back and darting away again out of reach. Now, pretended means acting. We always pretend, that means we are acting. Now, children, this paragraph means that the mongoose made false quick movements very close to the cobra. Mongoose was making false, they were not actual. He tried to confuse cobra. And then the cobra attacked and moved its hood down so quickly that it seemed the mongoose would not be safe. But this small creature, it was seeming for the audience that the mongoose will not be safe. But what happened? This small creature, mongoose, jumped to one side. It also bit the snake and its back and again moved away out of its reach. So the mongoose had bite the snake's back. Next paragraph. At the same moment, the cobra struck. The crow and the myna hurled themselves at him, only to collide heavily in mid-air. Shrieking insults at each other, they returned to the cactus plant. A few drops of blood glistened on the cobra's back. Now, collide means something which is coming into conflict, and glistened means shown. So, this paragraph says that the moment the cobra attacked, the crow and myna threw themselves at him to come into conflict. After making loud, short noises of attack, they came back. So, myna and crow came back, two cactus plants. Drops of blood were shining on cobra's back. Now, the next paragraph. The cobra struck and missed. Again, the mongoose sprang aside, jumped in and bit. Again, the birds dived at the snake, bumped into each other instead, and returned shrieking to safety of the cactus. Now, here, mesmerize means magically persuade or something false. Then move is an unwise action. He will take his own move, means his own action. Now, this paragraph says the cobra attacked but missed it. Cobra again tried to attack the mongoose but it missed. The mongoose again jumped aside. The birds again tried to attack the cobra but they failed and they came back to cactus. Now, the third round followed the same course as the first, but with the dramatic difference, the crow and the myna, still determined to take part in the proceedings, dived at the cobra, but this time they missed each other as well as their mark. The myna flew on the reach and its perk, but the crow tried to pull up mid-air and turn back. In the second that it took the bird to do this, the cobra whipped his head back and struck with great force, his snout thudding against the crow's body. Now, perk is, repose, something to settle. Whipped, something back moved. Then pull up, stop. And snout is the nose and mouth of an animal. Now, the third round of the fight, the birds tried to attack again the cobra. But in the same manner, this time there was a change. They didn't collide with each other. The myna flew back at its shelter, but the crew tried to continue to fight with cobra. In the second trial, the cobra also moved suddenly and attacked the crow with full force. These myna and crow kept on attacking cobra, but this time it was changed and cobra attacked the crow with full force. Now the next paragraph, children. I saw the bird flung nearly 20 feet across the garden. It fluttered about for a while. Then they lay still. The myna remained on the cactus plant, and when the snake and the mongoose returned to fight, very wisely decided not to interfere again. The cobra was weakening, and the mongoose, walking fearlessly up to it, raised himself on his short legs and with a lightning snap had the big snake by the snout. The cobra writhed and lashed about in a frightening manner and even coiled itself about the mongoose. But to no avail. The little fellow hung grimly on until the snake had ceased to struggle. He then smelt along its quivering length, gripped it round the hood, and dragged it into the bushes. Okay, the words are to no avail, means no success. Then grumly, in a very serious manner. Now, this paragraph says, children, that the author noticed that the bird falling 20 feet away, it kept shaking its body for some time. Then, because the cobra had hit the crow, but then it became still and died. So the crow died. The myna was on the cactus plant and she didn't interfere in the fight after this. The cobra was weakened and defeated. The mongoose attacked fearlessly. It exhausted the cobra with its fast moves and finally killed the cobra. It caught the cobra from its hood and dragging it into the bushes. So when the mongoose killed the cobra, the mongoose dragged the cobra into the bushes. And the last paragraph of the chapter, the myna dropped cautiously to the ground, hopped about, peered into the bushes from a safe distance, and then with a shrill cry of congratulation flew away. So myna was taking mongoose side, and what happened? The myna dropped on the ground and then giving a congratulation pitched sound, and the myna flew back. So this is all for the chapter, children, and I hope the chapter is understood by all. If you face any problem, you are free to ask, and please keep writing your question and answers, and please complete your written work. Thank you so much, children. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.